The book was 92 chapters. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm back. But anyway, like I said, if y'all see me with the same shirt on, I batch make content. I'm just saying. Because I don't want people to be like, does she only have one shirt? No, I don't. Well, actually, I kind of do. So I'm actually going to do my weekly wrap up. So last month I read 14 books and I did that all in one video. I was not doing that again. No. That was just way too much talking. My mouth was dry. Y'all, I couldn't do it. So what I'm going to do is do weekly reading wrap ups, which I think would be completely better. I kind of like book vlogs, but sometimes what I'm noticing about my book vlogs is that some of my videos are getting mixed up because I'm recording on 2 different phones. And then when I get ready to put my videos together, I'm like, okay, where's the ending of this video? And I noticed for 2 of my previous videos, y'all, I don't even know what happened to the ending. So I ended up just ending the video, but I still posted them. But I don't know, the video just goes off really weird. But today we're going to talk about the books that I've read. So currently I have read 3 books already for the month of July. And let's see. So I have read 2 physical books, 1 ebook. Yes, I have read 2 physical books. Wait, hold on. I know y'all like, girl, what? I'm just trying to make sure the book is up here. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so this book I'm currently am still reading. I have about, let's see, 317, and the book is like 404 pages. So I'll probably have a good 80 something pages. Okay, so the books that I have read this, yeah, I'm sorry. So the books that I have actually read for the first week of July was Harlan Coben, Nobody's Fool, which I'll put that on the screen because that one actually is a library book. So y'all know I had to take that back. And then I read 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. And then I read an ebook called let me see, can y'all see that? The Sanatorium, which I'll put that on the screen. The Sanatorium, because I actually have The Retreat by Sarah Pierce. So I wanted to read The Sanatorium first since this one was first, because I just kind of wanted to get a feel of like her writing style. We'll start with Nobody's Fool. So Nobody's Fool is about Simon Kears. He wakes up covered in blood, a knife in his hand, and his girlfriend Anna dead beside him while backpacking in Spain. He runs with no memory of what happened. 20 years later, now he's a private investigator in New York. He actually sees Anna in one of his night classes. When she notices that he spots her, she ends up running. To find the truth, Kears must confront the past that nearly destroyed him. So now, in this particular book, I literally was like, oh my gosh, like, it was, Harlan Coben will literally have you so confused. And it's not like a bad confusion, it's such a good confusion because now you're thinking like, oh my gosh, everyone's just guilty. Like, I literally was like, okay, well, maybe this person is the killer. Like what actually happened? Y'all, when I tell you, Harlan Coben will literally have you in good confusion, because Anna wasn't even really Anna. I don't want to spoil it, but y'all, it was so good. The ending was like mind-blowing. And I was sitting here thinking like, really? All this time? Like, really? And then what I do like about Harlan Coben, he's a very diverse writer. that's one thing I do love about his books, is that he has a tendency to write very diverse characters. So Kier's is actually a person of color. He's African American. And I do love that Harlan Coben is not tone deaf to the societal issues that are going on in the world today. He is not one of the authors that is blind to social injustice when it comes to persons of color, whether they're African American, Latin American, Cuban, basically he doesn't have blinders on. And he does actually highlight these things in his book that, like basically making his audience aware that Kier's is actually African American and the world does not see his skin as not a threat. So that's one of the things that I love about Harlan Coben. He has very diverse characters, and he's not afraid for his books to be political. He's not afraid to identify the biases and the myths and the stigmatizations and the disparities of persons of color when it comes to us being in this world. When I tell y'all, that book was amazing. That's one of the things that I really, really love about Harlan Coben. And when I tell y'all, I gave it a 4-star. And the reason why I gave it a 4-star, I just particularly didn't like the ending. I was so mad at the ending. That's why I gave it a 4-star. I was just like, all this and then this happens. I don't want to spoil it for y'all because it's not in the synopsis. So, but I did give it a 4-star, but I absolutely love the book. It's not his best one, but I absolutely loved it. Okay, so the next one was The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. And I'm going to say I gave it a 4-star. So that was actually my first book that I've read of hers. Like I've told y'all before, I'm really trying to diversify my authors. And I'm trying to like get into reading like other authors and not just sticking to my comfort authors. So I decided, I was like, I want to try to read The Sanatorium first before I read The Retreat, because I have the physical copy of The Retreat, just not The Sanatorium. And y'all, let me tell y'all. So I have a Pines Network card. So if you live in Georgia, I don't know if this works like this in like other states, but I have a Pines Library card, which allows me to check out books for any of the library networks in the state of Georgia. But that particular library has to participate in this network. However, you do have to like return the book back to where you got it. So like I live in Atlanta, and if I go to Henry County, I can check out library books, but I have to return it there. So I requested this book from 2 different libraries. So I was like, you know what? I'm in the area. Let me stop by and see if I could just check out the book myself. So I go in, the lady's like, oh, the book's not here. And I was like, what do you mean? And then she was like, the book has to be sent here. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? What do you mean sent here? Because the last time I placed a hold for a book, they literally sent me a text message like within like a couple hours saying the book was ready for me to pick up, because it was like there physically in stock. So I get to the library and they don't have it. And I'm like, it doesn't say y'all have to get it from another library. I'm so confused. So I was like, so then I was like, okay, I'm just going to cancel my hold. And I ended up checking out Nobody's Fool. Now, let me tell you this. So when I was there at the Forest Park library, I looked for Nobody's Fool in their library, in the Pines Network search thing. And it said they didn't have it in stock. Like none of the libraries in Clayton County had that particular book. So while I was there, I was looking at, it's a very small library. I was looking at the new book, I guess, new bookshelf. And guess what I find? Nobody's Fool. And I'm like, I thought y'all didn't have this. And then she was just like, oh, I don't know. Maybe somebody checked it in. And I'm like, no, the Pines Network said that y'all don't even own a physical copy. And then she was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm just like, so technically, I really think the Pines Network, like the app, I don't know. They need to do better at how they're managing what books are at what location, and if they have the book, don't have the book, because I was literally like, y'all have the book and y'all said y'all didn't. So I don't know. It's so weird. So now that just taught me to just actually go into the library to see if they have the book or not, because clearly they have books that they say they don't have. And then they say they have books that they actually don't have when you get there. But anyway, the sanatorium, my phone's going dead, so I gotta hurry up. But the sanatorium was actually a pretty good book. I really had to get into the structure of her writing. So what I ended up doing, fast forward, what I ended up doing was I ended up just purchasing the book because I placed a hold at McDonough. They didn't have it, and I'm like, why does it say y'all have it and y'all don't? So I ended up just paying $6 for the book. Book was 92 chapters. But the book was actually, it was very medium paced. And I think what I really liked about the book was kind of spooky. It was like, it wasn't like, I'm not gonna say it wasn't, it was some body horror, definitely some body modification, so that may be a warning, a trigger warning for some people. So it was like some body modification, body horror in the book when they started finding out what the sanatorium actually was. So basically, hidden by a forest, La Somme, a former sanatorium, has been turned into a hotel. Ellen Warner, a detective on leave, agrees to meet her brother, Isaiah, for his engagement celebration. However, what is supposed to be a happy moment turns for the worse when people are starting to be murdered. So basically, I guess the government issued like an evacuation of the hotel because they get like really bad avalanches. So what ends up happening is when the last bus get ready to leave, they ended up getting stuck because the avalanche ended up occurring. So then all these murders start happening and everyone's like, who's doing this? Who's doing this? And her being a detective, she starts to investigate under the supervision of like the police in, I guess, for that district. So y'all, it was very medium paced, but one thing I did like about the book was like the details of the book actually lined up to like the things that were going on. However, what I did love about the book as well was that she made you believe that the killer was like who you didn't think it was. Y'all, I was like, it was almost like a Harlan Coben moment. I was like, no way this was the person. So I really love thrillers that just, it's not predictable. Like the killer for this book was not predictable at all. I would have never guessed that person was like the actual killer. Because she made certain people feel like they were. So I actually enjoyed the book. So I actually really did enjoy the book. I did give the book 4 stars. I did know on my Goodreads that there were some triggers like rape and female body trauma, because those are like, could be trigger warnings for some people and it could trigger, people's trauma. So I did want to like kind of warn you. So in the end, the basis of like what was happening was all because of the Me Too movement. Basically, people knew that this person had this happen to them and then they did nothing. So, I mean, the ending was just kind of like, wait, what? I was literally blown away at the ending. I'm definitely telling you, if you've not read this and you like thrillers, I would definitely say this would be something that you would definitely love. Oh, before I move on to the next book, another thing I really loved about the book was this book was actually written like on the foundation of the Swiss sanatorium. So I love when books have like historical facts within it. Of course, I went to Google and I actually researched the Swiss sanatorium. And like it was a real thing. And I had no idea, like the sanatorium was basically like a TB treatment center where people would get sunlight, fresh air, and isolation from other people in order to overcome like tuberculosis. But literally I Googled it and the Swiss sanatorium like was a real thing. Okay, so the next book was Nine Lives by Peter Swanson. This is actually my first book that I've read of his. So this book, I actually just kind of read it a little slow because I had to get into like his writing style. So this book was kind of written by like day and time. So basically nine strangers, or nine supposedly strangers. So 9 strangers get a list of 9 names, and everyone, so they kind of think it's like a fluke until everyone on the list starts dying. Y'all, when I tell you, by the time that the detective figured, okay, I think someone's name that's on the list is the person that's committing the murders. When I tell y'all at the end, I was like, what? This person is actually this person, and this person was dating this person. It's like, oh my gosh, like it was like a Harlan Coben moment for me again. Because I had no idea until the ending that one of the people on the list basically has a pseudonym. And I'm not going to tell y'all the story, but it was actually really good because it kept me on my toes. It kept me turning the pages. And I was really trying to find out, okay, who is actually the killer? So one of the people that were killed in the book was killed by like, it made it seem like Peter Swanson made it seem like they were killed by someone else, when in actuality they were being all killed by the same person. I was like, oh my gosh. So y'all, yes, this book definitely a yes, but it is medium paced and it kind of reads like, I don't know, it kind of reads, I can't describe it, but it definitely is medium paced. And if you don't like medium paced books, and if you're looking for like a fast thriller, this isn't it. I would say the only thing I didn't like about the book was that it was hard to connect to the characters because it was jumping around so much to each character. So it was basically like it'll jump to this person and then it'll tell you a little bit about their life and background, and then jump to another character, tell you a little bit about their life background, jump to this character. So it was so hard to connect to any of the characters because the book didn't allow the characters really to develop. Like basically you didn't even know until almost literally the very end how all the characters were connected. No one even knew each other. They were like, how do we even know each other? And it just wasn't until like the ending that the detective started to put it together. Like, this is how everyone's connected. Y'all, I was like, seriously, I really was like blown away, and I was confused. Not a bad confused, but I was a good confused. And then that's just when it clicked in the end, like, oh wow, okay. But anyway, this one was definitely a 4-star. It only took me 2 days to read it, and as y'all can see, I love tabs, so I have some pivotal things tab in the book. But I am definitely, so Peter Swanson is another author that I definitely could see me reading more of his books. So that is pretty much everything that I have actually finished for the first week of July. I started this one, The Invisible Sun, on Saturday, and I have not finished this, so I really can't count this as one of the books that I've read for the week because I have about maybe 80 some pages left. So this one will actually be included in my next week video once I finish this book tomorrow. When I tell y'all though, this book, I'm gonna have to make some notes because this book is mind-blowing, and I literally was crying in one of the chapters. And I'm actually going to read one of the pages from this book, y'all. I'm very emotional. And that book is by Kim Johnson. But anyway, if you stay to the end of the video, give me a green heart. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know how many books you've read for the first week of July. Until next time, thanks for watching.